As I was getting out of my last toxic relationship, knowing cognitively that I deserved better, knowing that I deserved better treatment, and did the shadow work, I started to realize the specific things that I needed to feel safe and loved and adored. And I got real clear on what I didn't want. I had never been in a relationship that really treated me or met all of the needs that I had so succinctly as I believed I deserved, but I had hope that I could find it, although I had never had it before. And I also had done a lot of healing work, so I cognitively knew what I deserved. However, there's always going to be those parts of us, those damaged, wounded, traumatized parts of us, usually from childhood, that don't believe that they're worthy, that will call in partners like my ex-partner who did not value me and mistreated me. And so as I was dating from a healed place, after I had done pretty much all the shadow work I could do. I mean, it's always going to be a lifelong pursuit, but I had done all of the shadow work that I could do. I would go out with men, and the old parts of me that were attracted to a certain pattern, like a toxic pattern of men that didn't value me, those parts would come up and they would come to play. And I would have to almost talk to them from my higher self and say, this is what we need and this is what we deserve. And I had to school the weaker, more traumatized parts of myself that would have put up with bad behavior in the beginning and ignored red flags. And that higher self had to run the show. And as I did that, I just kept saying no to all the things that weren't what I wanted. And as I've talked about before, it made me lonely. I had months and months of being lonely. But as I kept saying no and acting from a higher self, even though there were still parts of me that wanted to go back to relationships that didn't serve me, I pretty quickly called in what I ultimately wanted, and like the best relationship of my life, where all the parts of me are seen and all the parts of me are valued and all the parts of me are celebrated. And I had to just keep saying no to what I didn't want, and I had to keep acting from my higher self, always allowing the highest, most healed parts of me to make the decisions when it came to love. And it wasn't always easy, but that is how we almost fake it till we make it. Because now that I'm in this relationship where I am being loved so wholly and so genuinely and completely, it's helping me to heal those parts of me that were unhealed when I met him, because he is showing up for me and loving me in such a way that it shows me over and over again that I am worthy and deserving of love. Relationships, especially healthy ones, show us so many things that we can't process alone and individually. We can do a lot of work individually, but relationships are beautiful because they show us parts of us and they allow parts of us to grow and blossom that have lain dormant without love to challenge it, without love to draw it up out of the ground and water it and allow it to bloom and foster its growth.